guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have this look for you guys. It's featuring a pretty cool palette that I mentioned in my giveaway video. So if you guys would like to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. I will be starting off with my eyes first, just because I will be leaning towards a smokier eye, and you guys know how much I hate all that fallout all over my makeup. So let's jump on into the eyes first. So I'm going to be priming my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre, and I'm just going to be taking that on a brush and just applying that on my eye, and then I'm going to be blending that in with my ring finger. To set the primer on my eyes, I'm going to be going into my Lorac Pro Matte palette and using this dense blending brush. I'm going to be using Bare and Linen. I just like using a very bright bone shade to set the primer on my eyes, and it's just going to make it easier for us to blend any colors over top of this later, and it's just going to make any other colors that we put over top of this a lot more pigmented. Going into my Lorac Pro 2 palette, I'm going to be using this color right here, which is Buff, and really packing that color onto the brush. I'm just going to start with this in my crease, and I'm just going to be using this color as a transition shade because we will be using a darker blue later on, and I just really want it to be like a very nice smoky gradient look. So I'm taking this and I'm blending it in the back, and then with windshield wiper motions I'm going to be bringing this to the front and blending that a lot right here, and then taking it up into my brow bone. Going back into the Lorac Pro Matte palette, I will be using this guy right here, which is Latte, and you can kind of see that I love this palette so much. It's just such a practical palette that like all of the colors in this palette are matte. So I'm going to be taking Latte, and I will be using this angled blending brush. And this angled blending brush that I'm using makes it super easy to pack this color into the crease. So I'm packing this color onto the end of my eye, and then I'm dragging it into the inner corners of the beginning of my eye and really blending it up here, and then taking that and feathering it out towards my brow bone. And now, just using a bigger blending brush, I'm just going to soften up any harsh edges. Using this pencil brush, I'm going to be dipping it into Corduroy and Chocolate, and I'm just going to start smoking this look out. So I'm starting by packing the color into the back, and then I'm going to be tilting my head back and then just very lightly dusting it into the crease. And then I'm going to be blending that out with that angled blending brush we just finished using. And then taking this fluffy blending brush, you just want to go over and make sure there's no harsh edges. I'm going to be using Pink Mauve on this fluffy brush. I want to use this to kind of lighten up the look a little bit. I feel like it's very dull because of all the darker colors that we're using. Just going to be applying this right above my brow crease and taking it up into my brow bone. So see the difference? I feel like this one looks a little bit more brighter. Now comes the fun part, and this is something that I was talking about in my giveaway, so I wanted to go ahead and incorporate it into a video. I am going to be using Navy from the Lorac Pro 2 palette. If you love this palette as much as I do, you can win it in a giveaway that I have going on until August 30th. So if you guys are interested in entering, I will leave that video listed down below just so you can see how you can enter and win. So I just went ahead and packed that color onto a very dense pencil brush, and I'm very gently going to be taking it into the corners of my eye, and then I'm going to be taking that pencil brush that we used earlier, and I'm very lightly going to blend it. And I suggest that you guys look down while you're blending it, just so that it doesn't transfer onto the brow bone. And as you can see, when we blended it, it lost some of its pigmentation, so I'm just going to pack a little bit more on just so it can be a little bit more blue. And then I'm going to very gently kind of soften up the edges, and then I'm going to pack it and soften up the edges. So you can just keep doing this step until you get that pigment that you like. And I'm super happy that we did add that pinky shade earlier, just because I'm really liking how it kind of is blending into play now. Don't be scared of these very harsh lines right there, we're going to put over top another shade, so you're not going to be able to see them. So now I'm just taking this angled brush and I am softening up any of the blue edges that I have. We're going to move on to the rest of the eye. I'm going to go into the Anastasia Sun Dipped Glow Kit. I'm obsessed with these palettes. They're amazing. I'm going to be using this shade right here. And I'm just going to be spritzing my brush with a little bit of Mario Badescu Rose Water. And I'm going to start packing that onto the lid. And then once it's all packed on, you just want to go back into that blue so that you don't have any of that highlight fallout in your blue. I'm going to be using the Smashbox Primer Water. I'm going to be going in with my primer, and that is going to be the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Photo Finish Primer. I'm a huge fan of this stuff just because I am a huge oily person, and when I get oil, I feel like it just sits there and it glistens in the sun because it's so hot in Chicago right now. So what I like to do is take a little bit on my finger, just like that. It's literally a very little bit. And I like doing this in the areas that are the most oily on my face. A little bit more, and I'm just going to apply this right over top of my nose. I'm going over my skin so gently so that there's a nice little layer of primer. I like to let the primer sit on my face for a couple of minutes before I go in with my foundation. So for foundation, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Warm Nude. And then I'm going to be using my Nude Beauty Blender, and I'm going to start applying the foundation onto my face. So now I'm going to be using my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, and I'm just going to be taking that on a very thin, small brush. This is the MAC 165 brush, and I'm just going to apply this onto the darkest areas of my face just to color correct that area. And then taking my Baby Beauty Blender, I'm just going to gently dab this in. Now I'll be taking my Naked Skin Concealer, and this is in the color Light Neutral, and I'm just going to go over top, and I'm also going to be using this to clean up my eyeshadow. Going back in with my Nude Beauty Blender, I'm going to blend this all in. I'm going to start bronzing up my face, and for that I will be using the NARS Palm Beach Bronzing Stick. And when you're doing a cream contour on your face, you just also want to make sure you follow that routine on your neck and chin, just so that it all goes together and makes sense. Now I'm just going to be contouring my nose with that LA Girl Pro Conceal stick. And I'm going to blend this in using that same Baby Beauty Blender. So now I'm going to be concealing these dark circles and fixing the rest of my face. So this has been my #1 concealer that I've been using. I actually replaced completely my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I've been using this for almost 3 months, and I am obsessed with this stuff. So it's very thick and it's very creamy. I feel like the MAC one is a little bit more watery than this one. Then I'm going to be blending this in with that Nude Beauty Blender. And then I'm just going to clean up my contour with whatever's left on this brush. So now I'm going to start baking with my Beauty Blender and my Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. And now I'm just going to be taking off all of this excess translucent powder. And then as I take it off, you do see me blend it in with the rest of my makeup just to set any of the creams that I have on my face. I'm going to be applying my eyeliner, and that is the NARS Via Venento. Going back into my Lorac Pro Matte Palette, I'm going to be taking Latte. And you're just going to start smoking out your lower lash line. And then going into the Anastasia Shadow Couture palette, I will be using Azure, another very beautiful bluish color. And I'm just going to very lightly dust this down here as well. So now I'm going in with the Bare Minerals Lash Domination Mascara. And I won't be doing any falsies or eyeliner today. Then I'm also going to do my lower lashes with this same mascara. So because I'm not going in with any falsies, I just want my natural lashes to look very voluminous. So I'm going to go in with the Maybelline The Falsies Volume Mascara for an extra coat. And I'm going to start with Benefit Hoola Bronzer and a MAC contour brush. And then for a little bronzy glow, I'm going in with this Victoria's Secret Makeup Bronzer in Goddess. Benefit Hoola Bronzer, I am going to carve out my nose. And now with a thicker blending brush, I am going to blend this contour in. And now you can really see that the definition of my nose has really changed. For blush, I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild Icon in Rose Champagne. And I just really like this bronzy kind of mauve-y blush. And then right over top, just to brighten up the look a little bit more, I'm going to be using my MAC Rosy Outlook onto the apples of my cheeks with this brush. I'm not taking it back here like I did with the Wet n Wild. And for highlight, I'm going to be using the MAC Oh Darling. And then over top, I'm going to be using my Holy Grail Wet n Wild blush. And I just, like I said, I really like this pinky, glowy, bronzy effect that this blush has. I mean, it's seriously my favorite. And then going into my Sun Dipped Anastasia Glow palette, I'm going to be using Moonstone. And I'm going to be applying this right in my tear duct. Just like that nice glowy look. And on the highest points of my brow bone, and taking that down so that it blends into my cheek highlight. Moving on to lips, I'm going to get started with my Urban Decay Naked 2 lip liner. And while I outline my lips, I'm also filling them in. And then I'm filling in my lips with this Liquid Lip by Anastasia in the name Pure Hollywood. So once the lips are all dry, you just want to go back to that same lip liner that we were just using. I am very gently outlining. And then I'm just going to finish my face off with the Mario Badescu Rose Water. So you guys, that is it for today's look. I hope you guys enjoyed every single bit of it. If you guys would like to win the palette that I used in this look, the Lorac Pro 2 palette, I will leave the link down below so that you guys can enter to win. For everybody that has entered the giveaway, you just want to make sure that your Instagram is public. I've seen so many entries where you guys have let me know that you guys have entered, and then when I double check on Instagram, I'm pretty sure that your profiles are still private. So just keep that in mind once it gets closer to the due date. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it.